Hello everyone, it's DiFusionGaming here for this episode of TWD. Now in this episode, I'm going to be talking about my favorite game genres, and kind of like what I like about each one. So I chose 7 of some of my favorite game genres, and I have them in order from least favorite of my favorites to my favorite. And I'll have some of my favorite games from that genre. Alright, so my first favorite game genre would be rhythm games. I haven't really played a lot of rhythm games, but when I do, they're awesome. Some examples of rhythm games are like Osu or Beat Hazard, and just a lot of Flash games. Most of the rhythm games I played were Flash games. I don't really remember any of the names of the Flash games because I just play for like a couple days and move on to the next one. Now, one of the things I like about rhythm games is when you're playing a rhythm game, you just kind of like, you get into the moment. It's like everything around you gets blocked out and you're just like, it's like you're really into the game. And like the harder whatever stages you're playing, the more into it you get. And I don't know why, I just really like that. And once again, like when beating a tougher stage in a rhythm game is like, the tougher the stage is, the better it feels to win. So you can like improve in a game and it just get better and better, and it starts feeling better and better when you beat tougher stages. And this game genre allows you to improve a lot, like over, at least for me, every other genre. So you start off doing not so good at the game, but as you go forward, you slowly get better and better. And I think this game genre, at least in my opinion, this game genre has like the biggest improvement you can make in a game. But yeah, that's rhythm games. Now my next favorite game genre is puzzle games, and some examples of those that I enjoyed playing were Portal 2, Tetris, and Picross. And once again, similar to the rhythm game, it feels great to win, because the puzzles get tougher and tougher, and then you slowly get better and better at solving a specific kind of puzzle. And even when you play one puzzle game, it might even help you do better at a different kind of puzzle game, because it'll kind of like give you a different way of thinking. And also, when you're playing puzzle games, you have to use logic. At least for some of them, you have to use logic to actually win. So it's fun to like not try to guess your way to the end, but try to really think, okay, how do I do this? Because when you're like sitting there for half an hour trying to figure out something, and it finally just pops into your head like, oh, man, that was so obvious. It's just great. But yeah, that was puzzle games. Now, next on the list is tower defense games. And some examples of tower defense games I enjoyed was the Bloons Tower Defense games, the Plants vs. Zombies games, and the Orcs Must Die games. One thing I like about tower defense games is, or at least most tower defense games, is when you start the game, you slowly unlock more and more towers, and you kind of learn what all the towers do, and then you get familiar with them. So at some point while you're playing, you could eventually like get strategies. You can get certain combinations of towers to do different things. Like you figure out what combination of towers is best for certain parts of the map or what map. Or even later on when you're playing the tower defense game, the enemies will be changing. There'll be new enemies, there'll be stronger enemies. So you have to find the right combination of towers to actually get rid of those enemies. And even after a while of playing a certain tower defense game, you learn when the enemies show up, what enemies show up, and yeah, you just slowly learn the game. So it allows you to kind of pre-plan some stuff before the end game stuff. And one thing I like about this game, and lots of other types of games, is slowly unlocking stuff. I really like games that have lots of unlockables, because it kind of gives you something to work towards. I think most games should have this. To at least have something you can unlock. And that kind of keeps people playing the game. And I think most tower defense games have this. I mean, there are some games that don't have this, like Elemental Tower Defense. You just kind of have everything right away. But yeah, it's always nice to have something to work towards. But yeah, that was tower defense games. Now next is idle and clicker games. And some examples of some idle and clicker games I enjoyed was Cookie Clicker, Clicker Heroes, and Factory Idle. Now, what I like about idle and clicker games is you just kind of like start off really small, doing one of whatever currency is the game's using. And then as you get further and further, you start growing bigger and bigger, getting further, unlocking more stuff slowly. So once again, from the previous, I like when you have to unlock stuff. But yeah, it's fun to expand and kind of get up your whatever per second and just really grow and slowly unlock more stuff that helps you grow even more. And then most of these idle and clicker games have ascensions, which I also like about it because you get to restart the entire game, but with an advantage. Whether it's going faster, or getting more unlock or more upgrade options, or just something. So when you ascend, it's almost like it's a different experience when you're starting over. But yeah, that was idle and clicker games. Now next on my list is real-time strategy games. And some examples of real-time strategy games is Age of Empires 2, Total Annihilation, and Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. Now one thing I like about real-time strategy games is you're always doing something. It's very rare to have a moment where you're not paying attention to something, where you're just kind of sitting back and relaxing. You're always paying attention to something. You're always multitasking, whether it's defending your base, attacking, or gathering resources. And when you're doing all that stuff, you also have to find a balance. You can't have too much defense and not enough attack, because they'll grow their base too much. You can't have lots of attack and no defense, because they'll destroy you. And of course, you have to have the right amount of resources. You can't have too little. You can't pay too much attention to gathering too much resources, or else your attack and defense will go down. So you have to find that balance and try to use that balance to defeat the other opponent or opponents. And I like multitasking in these games. And I like it how it takes so much strategy. And once again, you get better over time. It's fun to start off these games and slowly learn all the units and what they're good at attacking. And you have to plan out where the units go and how to destroy the base. But yeah, that was real-time strategy games. Now next on my list is platformer games. And some examples of platformer games would be Super Mario Galaxy, Smart Ball, and V. Or VVVVVV, however you say it, I don't even know. Now what I like about these games, it's once you play it, you can play it again. It seems like most platforming games have lots of replay value. You can play it once, and then come back later, and then do it again. And also when you play through this game, it's really fun to try to beat it faster than you did before. Because now that you've learned the map a bit, you can try to go faster. Like when I was playing V, I tried to get some records, try to go as fast as I can to play through it. I think I ended up beating in less than half an hour. And I didn't look up any kind of speedrun strats because I know this is a well-known speedrun game. But yeah, platformers are probably some of the best games to speedrun. But yeah, that's platforming games. Now the last on my list is survival games. Some examples of survival games that I enjoyed playing was Minecraft, Terraria, and Castle Miner Z. One thing I like about survival games is there's lots of exploration. It's probably the least linear game genre there is. Because once you start the game, you're just free to roam and explore. And of course, in most survival games, you could do whatever you want. Usually you're able to build and just kind of slowly get better resources and get stronger. And of course, it's a survival game, so they're surviving, so you'll have to learn different monsters. You have to pay attention to your hunger and health. And once again, you're just slowly learning the game. One of my favorite things about starting survival games is that you don't know anything about it. You gotta slowly learn stuff, discover new stuff. It's when I was playing Minecraft for the first time, it was always fun to look on the Wikipedia or whatever Minecraft page and try to slowly learn new crafting recipes. And it's so fun when you get to the end game and you have best gear and you're still discovering new stuff you didn't know about before. So when you play through it again, if you want to play through it again, then you'll just keep on discovering new stuff. But yeah, that's survival games. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode of TWD. Hope you enjoyed. And for the question, what is your favorite game genre or game? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be it, so goodbye.